Okay, now I know this is about micro dodge and burn, but hear me out. I have this friend, one of my best friends ever. His name is Laddie, and I've always used this card to buy any and everything that I want to purchase online. And I also used it to pay for my Photoshop and a couple other expensive things. And he's been on my neck, like, get my cards out of your subscription, but it's just free. I mean, it's pretty affordable, plus some other expensive stuff. But I've just been using his card for everything. And I think recently he pulled every single dime out of that account. He's a bad friend. But for that reason, Photoshop actually stopped working. And I had to put my own card in painfully. Can't believe he did that to me. So I started paying for my Photoshop, right? And what happened was that my Photoshop reset. So back to micro dodge and burn. And I was trying to retouch a photo and I was doing micro dodge and burn. And I noticed that the photo wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to. I mean, it was good. It looked good, but my micro dodge and burn just felt clumsy. And that's when I realized that I had to do something about my brush settings, right? It just seemed different. There was a reset, right? And then I went to my brush settings and I realized that something was toggled on, and that just made like micro dodge and burn difficult. Now, this video is going to either help you out or completely waste your time. But well, it won't be a waste of time. Hey, look at me, you're looking at me. So what we're going to do right now is get into Photoshop, and I'll show you why you shouldn't toggle on the particular brush setting and why you should leave everything just open and plain. And I hope you guys liked my story. So let's get into Photoshop, and I'll show you this quick tip that might transform your micro dodge and burn, or maybe something you're already doing and you really don't need this, so you just watch this, see my face. Photoshop, let's go. Okay, so now we're in Photoshop, and I'm just going to create like a micro dodge and burn. So micro dodge and burn layers, right? Okay, now I've gone out of the way. I'm probably just going to drag my layers this way, put it up here so we can see it right here. And we have our dodge, we have our burn, right? And now we have to pick a brush. Now, the way micro dodge and burn works, especially with this technique, is you're creating two curve adjustment layers. One of them, you are dragging it down from the middle for your burn, to make it dark. And for your dodge, you're going to pull it up from the middle to make it, bright. So basically what we're doing micro dodge and burn is darkening and lightening, certain parts of our image, we're just messing around with like the dynamic range of our image and all that. Okay, great. So the thing you want to do is get the brush, make sure it's a soft white brush. Your hardness has to be on 0. Like we're talking about like the normal brush in Photoshop, right? And the size depends on where you are micro dodging and burning. Make sure that also make sure that your foreground color is white. So this image has been worked on already, but I mean, you can always still work on an image, right? So if right here I just want to make this place lighter, right? All I have to do is just dodge over that right there, right? And what I'm going to do is just show you before and after quickly. If you look right here at this part of this image, you can see the before and after. You can see that space there got lighter, right? And if I want to make it darker, I'll just pick my burn tool, pick a brush that is relative to the size of the area, and just go around that area. And if I show you before and after, you can see that place has gotten darker. So that's basically what micro dodge and burn is, right? The thing now is that for your brush settings, typically I leave my opacity at 100, but if you're not comfortable with it because you feel like it's still too strong for you, you can take that down a little bit to somewhere like 80 or something. Just depends on what works for you. And my flow is always at 1% for micro dodge and burn. You want your flow to be at the list. The way this works is with your flow, you can keep painting and painting and painting, and it builds up to like 100%. But with your opacity, wherever it stops, let's say you want your opacity to stop at 90. I'm just going to create like a new layer right here. Just create something like this so I can show you guys my view. I'm going to turn off extras, and then I'm just going to zoom in here, right? Okay, great. So I have a random new layer right here. Created a path. Sorry, we'll have a new layer right here, and on our layer, we have our brush tool, and let's say our flow is on 100% and our opacity is on 30, right? And we're going to paint with a black brush. If I'm painting, right, see, it doesn't get darker than that 33%. It stays at that 33%. As long as I keep painting like this, it stays at that 33%. If I take my hands off, then I paint again, it paints another 33% over, right? But it's still at 33. If I take my hands off and I paint again, it paints another 33% over. That's the way, your opacity works. So I'm just going to take that out. Now, if my opacity is at 100, right, and my flow is, let me say, at like 22, when I'm painting, it paints all the way. My flow paints all the way till it gets black. You guys get what I'm saying? You get the dig, right? So with my flow, as long as I'm painting, it will paint all the way till it gets to like 100%. That's the thing about your flow, the difference between your flow and your opacity. So if my opacity is at 54 or 50%, my flow is at 22, and what I want to do is just paint over something. Now my flow is going to like take it up, but it's still going to stop at that 54% because that's what my opacity is at. If I go again, you know, we're going to have another 54%, but it's still going to stop at 54% regardless of how much I paint. So that's what your flow and your opacity, that's what it do, right? So typically when I am dodging and burning, right, I want my flow to be, I'm just going to pick my brush. I want my flow to be at 1% and I want my opacity to be at 100. The reason why I do that is I want my flow to be gradual. So I want the movement between 1 to 100 to be very slow and gradual, but I still want it to get to 100, right? Okay, good. That is me explaining what your brush settings are up here. Now, another thing and one thing you have to pay attention to is when you come to your brush settings here, if you don't have them right here, you can come to, I think, your windows and you can go to brush settings. The problem is for a lot of people, your shape dynamics are on. And what this does is that it gives you this middle here that is really soft, but it gives you hard edges, and you don't want that with your dodge and burn, right? So with my shape dynamics, when I'm working on a particular area, right, what it does for me is that it gives me like hard edges, and it just makes it, you know, it just makes it look the same way, which is just funky and it doesn't look good, right? It's like, okay, you know, the middle is nice, but the edges are hard, right? And that's one problem that I was running into my shape dynamics. So immediately you turn it off, you can see that your whole brush is soft. Remember, the thing about micro dodge and burn is you have to use a soft white brush to paint in your dodge and your burn layers, right? So if you do micro dodge and burn, you do a lot of micro dodge and burn, I want you to come to your brush settings and toggle off your shape dynamics, toggle off all these things. If well, you're smoothing, you can leave it on. That really doesn't do anything, but you can toggle that off too and just have like a really nice smooth brush, and that way you can dodge and burn to your heart's content. Just very simple and very easy. So for the most part, turn off everything that is here and have like a nice brush. It's smooth, it's round, it's nice. It just gives you like the perfect base to micro dodge and burn. Now that's about it. We're done in Photoshop. Okay, if this video has helped you out in any way, or if any of my videos has helped you out in any way, I want you to give all my videos that you watch a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel. And I have some amazing assets for retouching, like my retouching masterclass, which goes in depth on frequency separation, micro dodge and burn, and everything you need to become an amazing retoucher. I also have a dedicated micro dodge and burn course. I think you should definitely check that out. It will help you learn micro dodge and burn and break it down for you so you can be an expert in no time. Then I also have some skin tone lots, some freebies like my free frequency separation action, and some other amazing things like my 14 amazing actions that help you retouch better and retouch faster. So definitely check those out. Links are going to be in the description below. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you for sponsoring my channel, because you guys are my sponsors. Anyways, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day, guys. Peace out. Story time coming soon again. Bye, guys.